Hi all, today we will discuss the essay Poor Relations by Charles Lamb. The most important quality of Lamb's essay is the relaxed and intimate relationship he establishes with his readers. In the essay Poor Relations, Lamb reveals to his readers a number of incidents and situations involving his close friends and his family. Lamb begins with humorous descriptions of the poor relations. He uses many metaphorical phrases to describe the poor relation, and from which we can understand that a poor relation is an unwanted and unwelcomed visitor. His presence is embarrassing to others in the house. Lamb says that the poor relative enters the house with a smiling face but with a confused mind. From the knock itself, we can identify the personality. He is having some kind of complex and is a puzzle to the servants. According to Lamb, his memory is unseasonable, his compliments perverse, his talk a trouble. Lamb goes on to illustrate the aggravated evil of a female poor relative. She is revealed by her ragged clothes. She is all the time conscious of her poverty. She has a provokingly humble manner, which is most embarrassing to the family. She exposes her inferiority at the dinner table. She even addresses the servant as Sir. Lamb moves on to an account of the tragedy of the unfortunate young W., that is Feival, who had studied with him at the Christ Hospital School. Lamb refers to him as an Hamlet in real life because he was like the character Richard Hamlet in the comedy The Confederacy, written by Sir John Vanbrugh. In the play, Hamlet suffers acute humiliation each time his mother, Mrs. Hamlet, a rich but vulgar woman, refers to him as my son Dick. Young W was poor and sensitive. He was ashamed of being seen in his school uniforms. He has pride. It was not an offensive pride, but one which sought to safeguard his self-respect. His embarrassment was greater when he went to Oxford as a poor student. He was not able to pay the fees and was therefore admitted as a servitor, a student who did a lot of menial jobs. The servitors had to wear a gown which announced their low status in the university. When he wore the servitor's gown, it was to him as the Nysian tunic was to Hercules. Lamb's fondness for literary allusion is illustrated here. The reference is to the story of the death of Hercules. Cernunnos, a monster, tried to molest Hercules' wife Deianira. Hercules killed the monster with his arrows dipped in the poisonous blood of Hydra. Cernunnos' blood had also become poisonous. Before his death, Cernunnos had said that his blood could be used as a love charm. Believing this, Deianira gave Hercules the tunic smeared with the blood of Cernunnos. By putting on the tunic, the poison entered into the body of Hercules and suffocated him to death. When young W wore the servitor's gown, he felt very much tortured. He escaped from all pain by throwing himself fully into his studies. But when his father, a house painter, settled near Oxford, he could not handle the embarrassment. His father's cringing behavior to all gowned people made life impossible for him. One day when young W saw the picture of the artist evangelist Luke, framed and set up in his father's shop as a token of prosperity, he looked up at the Luke and, like Satan, knew his mounted sign and fled. The reference is to Paradise Lost Book 4, where Milton describes the encounter between Satan and Gabriel and his angels. Satan saw the sign in heaven, a pair of golden scales, which clearly showed him what the outcome would be if he stayed and fought against Gabriel. It would be utter defeat for him, so he fled. Here the reference is very suitable. The picture that young W's father had set up was a blow to his self-respect. It was to him like the sign which Satan saw in heaven. Young W could not stand the humiliation any longer, so he fled. He wrote a letter to his father and ran away to join a regiment that was leaving for Portugal. Soon after, he was killed in a battle outside the city of Saint Sebastian. By narrating this incident, Lamb points out that people of sensitive and refined nature do suffer great torments from their poor and less refined relatives. Lamb closes his essay with some recollection about Mr. John Billet, the mysterious figure of an old gentleman appearing at his father's table on every Saturday. A particular elbow chair was meant for him, and a sort of pudding was also served on this occasion. Lamb's father and Mr. Billet both belonged to the ancient city of Lincoln. It consisted of dwellers on the mountains and dwellers in the valley. There was great rivalry, even hostility between these two categories. Lamb's father was one who hailed from the hills, John Bellett was a dweller in the valley. Occasionally there happened heated conversation between Lamb's father and Mr. Billett about the two houses in Lincoln, but Lamb's father was not interested to carry an argument too far. In a diplomatic way, he diverted the topic to Old Church at Lincoln. The judge was their common bride. One day, Mr. Billett rejected a second serving of the pudding. Lamb's aunt commented to it by saying that he ought to take a second serving, as he does not get it every day. The old gentleman kept quiet at this insult, but later he told the lady that she was superannuated, meaning that she was old and senile. Lamb recalls the chilling effect that the remark produced at the time. Lamb thought that this unpleasant incident would stop the gentleman's visits to the house altogether. Later, after a few days, Mr. Billett again appeared and renewed their friendship. A new pudding was substituted for the old one, so that nobody would be reminded of the offensive incident. In spite of his poverty, this old gentleman had his dignity kept intact. Even in his death, he retained his dignity. In his writing desk, there was enough money for his burial. Though John Billett was a poor relation, his conduct was dignified and full of self-respect. In Poor Relations, as in all his essays, Charles Lamb is being very personal. The most striking feature of this essay is the element of humor in the beginning and the element of pathos afterwards. Concluding the topic, thank you for watching.